Hey everyone. You know, I figure I'd probably do something a little bit different here, kind of show off the graphic novels and autobiographies, if you will, biography books that I have. Basically, like I said, the graphic novels and biography books that I own. And I think this is a majority of them. If not, I apologize. So, let's take a look at what I have first of all. I'm pretty sure you've seen some of these in previous videos, but let's take a look at, let's start with the top here. Right here we have Robotnik's Revenge. Now I found this, I think I was able to get this off eBay, I believe. This is when SatAM was still going. I think this is when SatAM was still going. I mean, let me look at the year here. For example, let me look at the year inside. About 1994. This basically kind of explains how Bunny, in this graphic novel, this little junior graphic novel as they call it by Troll Associates, how Bunny became half roboticized. So, what's funny about this though is, and I mentioned this previously, is that the Robotnik on the cover is not the Robotnik inside the book that I know of. If I can give you an example of what I'm talking about. Yeah, there. Right there. That's the Robotnik they use in the story, but it's not the Robotnik on the cover. And again, it kind of explains how Bunny became half robotic. Basically, they were on a mission, and Bunny gets captured, and you know, yeah, that's basically what it was like. And as you could tell, they used the original design of Sally in there too. So, go figure. But that's Robotnik's Revenge. And along with Robotnik's Revenge, I was also able to find and buy Fortress of Fear. Now, what's funny about this, you take a look at Sally's vest here, and it's pink. And everybody knows her vest in the cartoons as well as in the comics is blue. So, it's called Fortress of Fear, and they do actually get the Robotnik on the cover right in the story. Obviously, I don't know why Michael Tenenbaum and Troll Associates and whoever did the cover I don't know why they used the Adventures one, but they, you know, they did. And yeah, you could tell that they used the Adventures one right there. I don't know why they did that. But it's very cool, and they do use the SatAM designs for the season 2 ones, because you could tell Sally has her vest and everything, and you can see it's the original, it's the SatAM design of the characters. You could see that right there. So that's pretty cool. And this one was released, I think, in 1995, so it would kind of explain why Sally is designed in her second season form, except for the miscoloring of the vest, if you know what I mean. So, yeah. And then, of course, speaking of Sonic, I have, of course, Sonic the Hedgehog first. I don't have the smaller version, but this is basically, well, actually, this is the original graphic novel version. Archie Comics released, they released a comic, a super special version of this, basically part of the super special stuff. And it's basically a gathering of all the firsts that took place in the comics, like the first appearance of Knuckles, the first appearance of Bunny Rabbit according to the book. The first story period. The only thing that I think kind of got on people, but a little bit was the fact that they did some recolorings when they published this. They sort of remastered it and sort of recolored some of the characters, most notably Sally. They recolored her, if you will. She was, because everybody knows originally she was brown with yellow hair, and now it's just pink with no, it's not pink, but it's bright, but it's a Satyam color, but it's a design in her original design, original design, if you will. But it's the first of everything. It's the first appearance of, like I say, the first story. It's the first appearance of Bunny. It's the first appearance of Knuckles, and the first appearance of Supersonic. So, which again is pretty cool. And I like how they just, and I do have that story somewhere, I just can't recall which one, but it's kind of cool that they have Supersonic appear like he did. But yeah, it's again, like I said, they did a super special issue on things. I think it was issue 3 of the super special series, so if you want to check that out, go ahead. But if you want the graphic novel, this is a good way to go right here. Or the compilation now, I don't know what you would call it. Let me set this aside over here. And then of course I have not one but 2 Sonic the Hedgehog's The Beginning. Yeah, 2 of these. Can you believe that? 2 of these. Now, what happened was I ordered one from Amazon, not Amazon, but from Mile High Comics, and I don't know what occurred there. And then I ordered one from Archie Sonic because I wasn't sure what was going on. But this basically kind of shows you the first, I think the first few issues, I believe. It's it's issue 0, issue 1, issue 2, and issue 3. Basically the first 3 issues, if you will. And it does have the, and it didn't remaster anything here. It just kept it the way it was. They just, you know, enlarged the pictures and all that. So that's pretty cool. But this is where it kind of, where continuity kind of gets thrown out the window. Because you see here, this shows how Sonic met Sally like that. This is basically, this is when Satyam was just beginning, so they kind of had to throw in their own origin story of how they met and all that. And then of course they get her to the, they put her in her pink black hair design after that. So you could tell that, like many people have said, she's the one that's gone through the most changes. So that's pretty cool, and I like this little panel back here. I think it's kind of cute, if you will. I like that. It's kind of cool, and the cover's not too bad either. So, and it says forward by Michael Gallagher, so that guy has a lot to explain too if he's still on board. So there you go. And again, it's the same one here. And the cover is done by Spaz, so that's pretty cool. Now I know some people might say, why do you have 2? Well, like I mentioned like I mentioned just moments ago, I was ordering from Archie Comics and from Mile High because I wasn't sure what was going on, where the other one was, and I think ironically both came within the same time frame, if anything. That was pretty cool. Now, speaking of Sonic again, I know, a lot of Sonic, right? Here we have, I've kind of gone a little out of order here. we have 8 of the graphic novels of the archives. Basically, the archives they've been bringing out, the little digest versions of the comic, basically allowing people to catch up. And this is, I believe, issue 1, issue 2, issue 3, and issue 4. So this is the first 4 official issues, in this one. That's pretty cool. And then of course we have the next 4 issues here, I believe. And also they got a special bonus like learn who's who. I think they have that for a lot of the books too. But that's issue 5 to 8, I believe, right there. I think you can see that. Issue 5 to 8. I'm looking at the time, so I got about 5 more minutes, I think. Actually, about 4.5 more minutes. Anyway, 3.5 more minutes. Anyway, here's volume 3, and this is, like I said, this is volume 3. It's the first. It also shows the first introduction of Anti-Sonic, Evil Sonic, or Scourge, if you will. And it's issues 9 to 9, 10, 11, and 12. 9, 10, 11, and 12. So that's that one. Then here we have volume 4, which is, I think, issues 13 to 16. 13 to 16, right here. This is issues 13 to 16, right there. And the ones that are in these kind of things I got from Mile High. The other 2 I got from Archie Comics. And then right here we have issue 5, which I think is, if I'm correct in what I'm saying, it's issue 17 to 20. Issue 17 to 20. It's got a Who's Who book, as well as it's got another bonus of Who's Who, a more updated one, as well as a bonus story, Everything Old is Newt Again. So it's pretty cool. I think they got a Who's Who in here. Yeah, they do. They still do Who's Who. So that's in there. That's volume 5, and like I said, that's 17 to, I think, 20. 17 to 20, I believe. Let me check my time here. Okay, about a minute and a half. And then here we have volume 6. This is volume 6 here. I have to open it because I taped it shut. They always tape them shut now, but here's volume 6. And I think this is 21, 22, 23, and 24, I believe. Yeah, 21, 22, 23, and 24. So right there, and that's kind of also the introduction of the anti-freedom fighters as well. That's why they're on the cover. That's pretty nice. And then here we have volume, I think it's volume 7. Let me check my time here. And this is the 25th issue, all the way up to, I think, 28. Yeah, 25 to 28. So right there, 25 to 28, right there. 25th issue to the 28th issue. That's pretty cool. And it's also the first introduction of Metal Sonic and Amy in the book. That's pretty cool. And I will be back with part 2 in a minute. Okay, I'm back here with part 2. I've got about 12 minutes left on here, but like I said, this was volume 7 with issues 25 to 28 in here. So that's pretty cool. Right there. I think you can see that. And then here, finally, we have volume 8. Volume 8 of the archives. And this is issues, I think, 29 to 32. And this is the first appearance of Sally being roboticized. But again, the first time she was roboticized was only for 1 issue. So we don't know how long a certain writer's robotization of her is going to last. But yeah, issue 29 to 32, which is pretty cool. So yeah, and it's like I've told people too, if you don't want to see a roboticized Sally, all you have to do is look at Sally, if I can find it. Trying to find a decent picture of her here. Right there. All you have to do is look at a picture like her, like that, and you're like, okay, don't worry about the robotization, you know. Okay, we better hurry on here because I got about 10 minutes left, so I may have to erase another video just to have to do this. So up next we have from the X-Men we have X-Men Phoenix War Song. This is basically a collection of all the War Song related issues of the Phoenix War Song, all 5 issues basically collected in here. So that's all 5 issues of the War Song story collected into 1 graphic novel, which I think is pretty cool. Put this over here. Then here we have Transformers End of the Road, another graphic novel, which is a compilation, I think, of some of the Generation 2 stuff. Right here it's a collection of, I think, the End of the Road saga or something like that. Yeah, believe it or not, I got this for $1.99, according to what it says, so that was pretty cool. There you go there. And then here we have the movie adaptation graphic novel of the first movie, which I got for $17.99 at Hastings. This is the graphic novel movie adaptation. That's pretty cool. Of the first movie, that is. Then here we have Transformers Generation 1. This is War and Peace, Volume 2. Generation 1, Volume 2, War and Peace. So, I'm pretty sure a lot of you might have this one. This is by IDW Publications, comics, if you will. It's got great artwork in here. If you've never seen the kind of artwork, it's like, it is great. I'll tell you, if anybody, I'll be honest with you, if anybody was to take over the license from Archie Comics or the Sonic Comics and kind of keep them the way they are now and do artistic work, you have to go with IDW. They would definitely do great. So there you go, Transformers Generation 1, Volume 3, War and Peace. And here we have another one by IDW Publishing, Transformers. Just ignore that. Yeah, just ignore that. But anyway, here we have Transformers War Within in graphic novel. Got this for about $20 at Hastings. But it's the entire, I think, War Within saga put together, the graphic novel. Again, they do tremendous artwork. IDW, tremendous artwork. Again, like I said, if you need somebody to take over, I mean, look at that splash page there. Zaren Isaac, I think you'd like that, wouldn't you? But I think, like I said, I think if you want to have anybody take over the Sonic comics from Archie and continue on with the characters like of Sally and Bunny and all that, and Rhoda and Antoine and Knuckles and all that, definitely go with IDW. But yeah, there we go, War Within. And then we have one more, which is down here. This is basically I also got this for $1.99. This is Target 2006. This is basically a graphic novel compilation, if you will, of all the I think UK publications. I think this is basically a publication of all the UK ones. So that's pretty cool. Well, the original UK ones. So yeah, and I got this for about $1.99 as well. Surprising, I know, but you never know what you're going to find. I think I have another one somewhere. I just can't find it right now. I have to look for it later. Here we have Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man Revelations. This is basically all the Revelation issues put together, all the issues relating to Revelations, the Revelation saga, right there. So that's pretty cool. And then here we have Spider-Man Blue. This is basically a compilation. It's a graphic novel. It's basically a compilation of all the Spider-Man Blue related stories, that are related to the Blue deal. It's kind of like an original story with stories from other issues contained within. So that's pretty cool. I think it's actually an original story too, in a way, in a sense, because it's totally different and it's a retelling of a lot of things. So if you haven't picked this one up, you should. It's pretty good. I read it and it's tremendous. I like how they kind of tell the story behind the scenes of with Gwen and MJ and Peter. It's really cool. So there you go. Spider-Man Blue. It's a great addition to any comic collection. Then here we have The Amazing Spider-Man, The Death of Gwen Stacy. It's basically all the issues leading up to the death of Gwen Stacy in this issue, compiled in this graphic novel. So yeah, this is basically, it says collecting the heart-wrenching Amazing Spider-Man 96, 98, and 120 and 121, 122, plus the Kiss from Web Spinners Tales of Spider-Man 1. So basically, like I said, it's all the issues leading up to and containing and concerning the death of Gwen Stacy. So that's another good addition to get to your collection if you ever find it. Right there. Then of course we have the official movie adaptation graphic novel of the first Spider-Man movie, right there. It's pretty nice. Simplified into a graphic novel, which I thought was cool. And then here we have the death of the Stacys. In other words, this contains collecting Amazing Spider-Man 88 to 92 and 121 to 122, with the death of Captain Stacy and eventually the death of Gwen Stacy, all compiled in a big, and I mean big, graphic novel. I mean, it's a hardcover. Not many people, not many graphic novels that I've know of get this kind of treatment unless they're really, really good in of an important event. So there is that, the death of the Stacys, the deaths that still shape, as they say, the Spideyverse, if you will, and you can tell the shininess here as well, kind of embroiled, if you will, here on the side. And of course it kind of shines right there. It's really, really nice cover, really oiled, if you will. So it's really, really nice, and I suggest if you've not picked this one up, do it. And I will be back with part 3. Okay, I'm back here with part 3 of my video. I got about 12 minutes to go on this one, so we can try to do this real quickly. Next up, we have some of my wrestling biographies. This is more of a, not just a biography, but it's more like an exercise approach to a better body. It's Triple H. And like I said, it's a bit of a biography, but it also gives you tips of how to keep your body in shape, and shows you how he keeps his body in shape and everything. Nicely embroiled there, if you will. It's a good book, you know, if you want to know about how to keep, you know, your body right and everything, and also want to know how this guy came to be, this is the book for you, right here. Then of course we got one of the most talked about books when he was part of the WWE, and I think he still sells it because he gets royalties for it. Controversy Creates Cash with Eric Bischoff. This basically tells the story of how he came into wrestling, and how he did the things he did in WCW and so on. So it's a pretty good book. It's a pretty good read. If you've not read this one yet and you want to know why people like this guy and despise this guy, definitely check this out. It's worth the read. To me it is. To me it is. So definitely check that out. Alright, next up we have, of course, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, his autobiography, if you will, sort of, with WWE. It's a nice book. It's got some great pictures in there. It talks about Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling when it came out by Dick Entertainment in association with WWE, or WWF at the time. It's a great read. I mean, and it's also got, if you don't want to read entirely through it, it's got a great, it's got some great pictures too, like this Hulk when he first started out, and you know, stuff. So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty, like I said, it's a pretty good read. You definitely have to check this out if you could find it. I think it's still on sale somewhere, but it's really, really cool. It's got a great embossy, if you will. So it's really a good read. I mean, if you want to know how he came to be in the business and all that, definitely worth the read. Then of course we have the Rise and Fall of ECW. This book came out about the same time, maybe a year or so after the Rise and Fall of ECW DVD. It talks about the same things, but goes into a little bit more detail. It actually talks about, I think one of the chapters, it talks about the lesbian kiss, or the lesbian angle between Kimona and Beulah, and how that not only, well, they mention it in the DVD, but how that nearly killed them. They call it the kiss of death. It wasn't just the pay-per-view that nearly got them, but it was also the they call it the kiss of death, if you will. So yeah, it kind of goes into more detail about that. And here we have the Stone Cold Truth, the Stone Cold Steve Austin story, if you will, an autobiography of how he came to be in the business. It's really cool. These are all interesting reads, so if you haven't read them yet, you should. And then of course we got Heartbreak and Triumph, the Shawn Michaels story, the autobiography that goes with the DVD that came out as well, which is pretty cool too. It's a great read, there's no doubt about it. I have friends that have read this book, they like it. It's really, really cool. It's a really, really good read, so definitely, again, if you have not checked this book out, you should. And then to wrap it up, here we have Transformers Identification and Price Guide. This is basically kind of showing you how much your Transformer toys would cost if you had all the parts or if there were some parts missing. Like, for example, if you had the let's see, the original, trying to think here, I'm trying to find, because I know some people still have the originals. If you had the original Optimus Prime right here, if you have everything, you'd be like $275 plus he would be worth if he had everything. If he didn't, he'd be between $65 to $70 if he was basically between $65 and $125 if he was missing anything. But if he had everything, he was in the box, $275 plus. So that's pretty cool. And then let's say for somebody like who's very rare, if I can find him now. I know I'm running out of time here. Well, not totally run out of time. Another character's around here somewhere. Oh, here we go. We're getting into it. We're getting there. Hold on, folks. Bear with me, as some people would tell you. Here we go, Metroplex. They say if you had Metroplex, he would, if he didn't have all the parts, he would cost between $110 to $180. But if he had everything and he was in the box, he'd cost about $400 plus. And if you had a free glow-in-the-dark Transformers the movie poster inside the box, along with everything else, add $15 to $25 to that $400. So basically, this gives you an idea of what your Transformer figures would cost if they had everything in them. So that's pretty cool. I'll probably do a little bit of a video on this probably down the line, kind of give you an example of what, if you have anything, what it would cost if you had everything together. Then here we have Down a Sunny Dirt Road, an autobiography of Stan and Jan Berenstain. Kind of tells you how they came to be, how they met, how they got into writing stories, first for like an adult magazine, and then they went directly into the Berenstains. How they started out with a few stories for Dr. Zeus himself. It's really good. It's a really good read. I mean, I highly recommend you buy it. I highly recommend you get this. I mean, if you're a Berenstain Bears fan, this is the book for you. There's no doubt about it. It's really nice. It's got some great pictures in there. It's really cool. It's really good. It's a really good read. There's no doubt about that. Then here we have Transformers, the Ultimate Guide. Oh man. And this is something, if you're not this was $25, folks, $25. So if you're not a Transformers fan, I don't know where you are. And all this is done by, I think, by IDW, I think, some of the people, or Dreamwave, did some of the artwork here. It's basically an extensive guide of all the cartoons, of the movie, and stuff like that, of the comics, of Beast Wars and stuff, the action figures. I mean, everything, man, everything. I mean, if you don't know what this book is, go online, look for it. If you get it for a good price, get it. It's worth the read. There's no doubt about it. It is an essential collection, along with the price guide deal. Along with this price guide deal, it is an essential collection in addition to your Transformers collection. And then finally, let me check my time. Okay, still got plenty of time. Finally, we have Hanna-Barbera cartoons. That's right, Hanna-Barbera cartoons. I've got a little thing in here. It's you know, from Yesterday Land. I don't think many people remember that. It gives you information about the shows. But this is basically also. I want you to look at that cover there. Look at that. Pretty nice, huh? Pretty nice. But it kind of gives you a it's basically like a guide and a history thing. Gives you some great pictures. You know, like this one here. Look at that. Look at that, folks. That's pretty cool. But it basically gives you an extensive guide as to the history of Hanna-Barbera and how Bill and Joe came to be in their own studios and did the things that they did. It's a really good read. It's kind of falling apart a little bit. I can fix that. But it's really a good read. I mean, again, I highly suggest that you find this book somehow and read it. It goes up to, I think the most recent it goes up to is about 2000, I think. Well, basically 98 is the highest it goes. I can't remember how much I paid for it, but it's a really good read. It's really a good read. It's a collector's item. There's no doubt about it. So if you're a fan of animation, of history of animation, I know Zara Nizarak you are, definitely the book to get if you can find it. So that's all my graphic novels and biography books and stuff that I have. Hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry it was in 3 parts. I don't have the unlimited time anymore on my main account. So again, hope you enjoyed this. Comment down below if you like, and I'll talk to you all later.